All right, hey VC, I'm Jamie. Welcome back. We're back with another video, and this time it's with a heavy heart as we remember Peter Green, a great British blues guitarist who passed away, died at the age of 73 over the weekend, and he will be missed. Founder of Fleetwood Mac, first burst onto the scene as Eric Clapton's replacement in John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, would have a sporadic solo career after Fleetwood Mac, but would also have some success with the Peter Green Splinter Group. For me, discovering Peter Green has been a fairly recent process. I was always a Fleetwood Mac fan, and kind of first got into Fleetwood Mac kind of around the Bob Welsh years, and then of course the major success with Lindsey Buckingham, Stevie Nicks years. But it was a friend of mine who introduced me to Peter Green. I wasn't really initially familiar with the early Fleetwood Mac sound, and a friend of mine who was really a big Peter Green fan and is definitely in the camp of Peter Green being a better guitarist than Eric Clapton camp, turned me on to Peter Green. Said, "Oh, you got to check this out," and I've been a fan ever since. So, yeah, Peter Green, he will be missed for sure. So I'll show you what I have in my collection in terms of both vinyl and CD. It's the vinyl. I don't have a lot of vinyl with Peter Green, but I'll show you what I have on CD. So first off, I'm going to show you John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. This is Peter Green burst onto the scene, replacing Eric Clapton on guitar, and the album A Hard Road. This is not a reissue. I did find this in the wild, so I don't know how early pressing this is, but, you know, just a terrific album. What a great guitarist, and this was pretty much the only album with Peter Green, and a few recordings with John Mayall's, a few songs here and there, but then shortly after this would form Fleetwood Mac. So yeah, this is the first taste of Peter Green on the scene with John Mayall's Blues Breakers, A Hard Road. Now, here's what I have in terms of vinyl. Then we skip ahead to Fleetwood Mac in Chicago. This is a slightly later reissue, still on Blue Horizon through Polydor, but this initially was released as two separate vinyl with a different cover. So this was, you know, in terms of this band, Fleetwood Mac, you know, what a dream come true, being able to record with some of their heroes that include Otis Spann, Willie Dixon, and Buddy Guy, although he's known as Guitar Buddy for copyright reasons on this. And so this is a later reissue, where they combine it as a 2 LP set. And this has been reissued many times, many different covers. But this is absolutely terrific. And it's an interesting for Fleetwood Mac. I was thinking, seeing the obituaries with Peter Green, talking about him forming Fleetwood Mac, so briefly with John Mayall, and then forming Fleetwood Mac, and that it was initially, for the most part, known as Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac. And they would also be presented in the early days as Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac featuring Jeremy Spencer. So what a way, especially with the original four members, what a way to cover every member of the band. You got Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, so Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac featuring Jeremy Spencer. What a great way to cover every person in the group. Okay, and then I have one Peter Green solo album, and in fact, my good friend Bill, who had turned me on to Peter Green, gave me this as kind of an early VCLT. So this is actually a German pressing of this album, but Peter Green in the Skies. Beautiful album, wonderful guitar playing on that. Okay, so now I'll show you what I've got on CD. So we'll go back to John Mayall and Hard Road. I do have this on CD, and this is one of the sort of deluxe CDs. So this gives you the whole album with a number of bonus tracks as well. So Hard Road, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. Picked these two up, and I'd read about this, and interesting that they finally released these were bootleg recordings of John Mayall's Blues Breakers live in 1967. So this features Peter Green on guitar, still with the band, but then with John McVie on bass, who's still with the band, John Mayall, and then with Mick Fleetwood on drums. And this was a Dutch fan who had recorded these unbeknownst to the band. So they are super low fidelity, but this Dutch fan had these for many years, and now they've been finally given some sort of a proper release. As I say, they're really low fidelity, but the band is on fire. Very odd covers for these releases, but the band is absolutely on fire. And of course, it'd be shortly after this that they'd leave, although it took a little bit of convincing for John McVie to join Fleetwood Mac, but eventually they would leave and form Fleetwood Mac. But if you come across these again, it's not great fidelity. These are bootleg recordings, but the band, particularly Peter Green, are on fire for these performances. Really, really good. I do have these. These are the sort of the budget reissues, the three original classic albums. So we have the great first album, Fleetwood Mac, and just such a great album. And then we have Fleetwood Mac, Mr. Wonderful. Unfortunately for these kind of budget things, they don't fold out or anything like that. But and then we have a very odd early compilation that was called "The Pious Bird of Good Omen," but it's a great album because this does feature "Need Your Love So Bad." Also, "Albatross" is such a beautiful song, and "Black Magic Woman," that was a Peter Green Fleetwood Mac song originally. So there you go, and pretty standard in terms of the labeling there. And then I do also have Fleetwood Mac, another one of the original album series sort of budget things, but this now gets into the Bob Welsh years, but it does include Play On, or sorry, then Play On, which is Peter Green's last album, and such a good one. And for that is the listing of the tracks there. This one does, so this is the American version of it that does include the track "Oh Well." Okay, so we have that, and then I did pick up some of the series of the reissues on CDs. So here is the first album. The great thing about these reissues is that each one of these include a number of bonus tracks. So these are Columbia Blue Horizon reissues. So each one has a generous helping of bonus tracks on them as well. So that's that. And then you have Mr. Wonderful. Not as strong as an album as the first one, but still great. And again, a few bonus tracks on here. And then the Blues Jam in Chicago, when it was released as two separate albums. But what a thrill for Peter Green, Mick Fleetwood, and for them to play with their heroes. And the liner notes for some of these reissues have been terrific too. I did pick this one up not too long ago. Sadly, I don't have this on vinyl, but this is a Fleetwood Mac. This is the reprise debut. So when they went to Reprise label, remastered with the original UK track list. So there you have that. But what's nice on this, I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Got a bit of a glare here. There we go. They do then include as bonus tracks "Oh Well," which doesn't appear on the UK version, along with the Green Mahalishi with the two-prong crown and World in Harmony as well. So that's kind of nice. And this is a really nice reissue. Now, I think I read just the other day that they are going to do another Fleetwood Mac box set. I think it's an 8 CD box set where they will include this album and then a number of albums after that, including Kiln House and some of the other Bob Welsh albums as a big box set. And then I think they're going to do another release of this. I don't know if it's going to be an extensive deluxe set like the other Fleetwood Mac album reissues have been, but apparently they are doing something with this as well. So also for my collection, I have Fleetwood Mac Boston. This was recorded in Boston, Massachusetts, February 5th, 6th, and 7th, 1970. Great recording. It's really well recorded. And this comes in a very unusual little set like this, where everything's like that, and then all the CDs are inside like that. And then I picked this one up not too long ago. This is, I believe, the first volume of this has been put out on vinyl. I don't know if the second volume has come out as of yet. but they released it as a 2 CD set, sorry, a 3 CD set. And these are a number of live recordings and demos from 1968 to 1970. Really, really good. The liner notes are great. The only downside is that they don't really tell you where these live recordings are from. So there's no information that way, but then they tell you all about the songs and everything that's kind of going on, but there's no real information on where the songs were actually recorded from, which I find unusual. Of course, at this time, Danny Kerwin, they changed it to a five-man lineup, but this is really terrific. 3 CDs, lots of live demo stuff. There we go. And this was released through Sony Music. Came out in 2019. Really, really good, but also becoming available on vinyl. And showed this one on my Instagram account. You can find me at JamesCottle519. But boy, I'm so happy I picked this up. Peter Green, the Anthology. This is a 4 CD deluxe box set. This really is such a nice overview. Gives you John Mayall's Bluesbreaker stuff, some fairly obscure stuff that, like with Peter B's Lunars, also with recordings with Dusty Bennett, and lots of Fleetwood Mac stuff, and then with also the Peter Green Splinter Group. This is just a terrific 4 CD set. So let's see if I can. I have presented this one before on my videos, but I went to this immediately. And I've been kind of playing this through the weekend. So yeah, this is a really nice. Unfortunately, they overlap the CDs like that, which I'm not a fan of. But really, really a good box set. So if this is still available, I would highly recommend that you pick that up. And for Fleetwood Mac, in terms of compilations, most time Fleetwood Mac compilations only focus on the Lindsey Buckingham Stevie Nicks years, or maybe the Bob Welsh years into the Stevie Nicks years. It's either that or you get just the Fleetwood Mac compilations that then just focus on the Peter Green years, that sort of thing. So if you are looking for one that kind of give you a little bit of everything, there is still this one, Fleetwood Mac, the 25th anniversary, 25 years to chain. They have a CD that's almost entirely the Peter Green eras, and then it gives you everything else, which is quite nice. And then also that had been released just recently is the Fleetwood Mac's 50 Years, the first album. Pretty much entirely is the Peter Green years for the first album, with the exception of the last 2 tracks, which are then into the Kiln House album, and then subsequently gives you everything else. So those are a few of the compilations that at least give you everything. Now there's also one other disc around that I can show you, which is a Peter Green compilation. This is one of the few just 2 disc set. This is a Peter Green compilation, and appropriately called Man of the World, the Anthology 1968 to 1988. I think this is still pretty much available. This is a nice overview as well. This gives you a generous helping of Fleetwood Mac stuff, but a lot of more Peter Green kind of solo stuff. So this is quite nice as well. So Peter Green, great guitarist. He will be missed for sure. Again, that's pretty much what I've got from my collection. And thanks so much again for stopping by. And we'll chat again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.